I am Italian, and I grew up in Italy. And as most of the kids in Italy, I was dreaming the day I was gonna be 18 and finally have my driving license. Italy is home of several of the most amazing cars brands, like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, all brands that are symbols of success, of power, and of freedom too. A lot. I was dreaming driving this car, this one, as soon as I was turning 18, and wow, I was pretty small when I was doing that, by the way. And so this idea, this dream, much before being 18, I realized, no, this is not gonna happen. And my first car was this one, indeed. So it's a pretty nice car. It's a Ford Fiesta, very old one, and it was doing the dirty job to give me the first bite of freedom, moving around with friends and so on. And I realized very fast that actually my dream of movement and be free, it was actually stuck in queues like these most of the time, especially in cities or in outside the cities when you have to go out or in. And my car was parked most of the time in street like this. So this was a bit a dream that of mobility, of freedom, that was ridiculously destroyed in some way. And I was thinking, okay, that is it's not actually the dream I was in mind when I was a kid. Institutions, states, and municipalities are trying to solve this problem. That is a problem that is common to most of the cities around the world. I would say all of them, Denmark included. But the approach of solving this overcrowded street with cars is by using fine to restrict the time frame where you can use the car, to restrict the areas where you can actually move around with the cars. And it was a bit a way, in my mind, is a bit a way to punish the person that needs a car. Of course, we have alternative solutions, especially in city centers, like public transportation and metro, buses. And in Denmark, bicycle is everywhere. It's great because if you live in big cities, you don't really need the car. You can move around, and it's great. In Copenhagen, you see people using the bike for everything. You can see people like this moving sofas around the city, but still, that is not exactly the ideal situation. And cars still are the good solution many times when you really need the car. When you need to move something, you move your equipment, and you go to visit friends outside the city. So what is that that makes a car so interesting for our owner? And the interesting things and the valuable things of owning a car is the fact that you can have access. We have cars everywhere, and we have been having cars everywhere since 100 years ago, about. And we will have cars in our city, so we need to learn how to deal with it. So when we think about cars, then we think, okay, how long I use my car? When I own a car, okay, I need the car, that's why I own a car. But actually, the time that a car is parked is 96%. So it means that we use a car in average 1 hour per day. And this can be much less if you live in cities as Copenhagen, for example, that you use the car twice a week, maybe, a couple of hours a week. And so by seeing these numbers, When I started working on my project, I realized I have to think, okay, why we are interested in the car, as access is the reason why. So for an owner is valuable to own a car because can have access whenever they need, in an easy way, and for how long they need. But our streets are full of cars that are parked, and the value in the car is the fact that is accessible to people. So why we don't unlock the car that are parked all the time? I mean, we have an enormous resources in our streets, and it's a resource that is not used at all. It's there as 96% of the time parked. So why we can't access this car? And actually, we can do it. Today, we can access these cars. And we can access them thanks to mobile technology, thanks to the development of internet and the development systems. So today, with the models like peer-to-peer car sharing, we are able to share the cars that we have and access them. So the model is very simple, and the system are very simple. Are basically web platform, where a car owner can put the car on, lease the car, and rent it out when they need it, when they don't need it. And anyone can access the platform, rent the car when they need, search the car they need, and meet the person, and switch the car. The platform is providing a payment system, is providing a search engine internal, and a booking system, and the insurance covering the car during the period that is rented out. So this is a very simple system. It doesn't look okay, it's working, it's easy. But the great thing is that it's covering and is solving most of the problem related to the today congestions in the cities and the personal mobility issues. By how he's doing this is by creating value for all the parts in a city, all the people. So it's solving the problem by the small elements, that is the human and is the individual level. So it's solving the needs of covering some of the expenses of a car owner, and it's covering the need of accessing the car when I need. It's solving the problem of cities, like creating a valuable service, and is in the long period will serve also an environmental aspect. How it does this is creating value in all these levels. The basic level is the individual level. The platform gives a tool for the car owner to earn some money out of a car. So release the power, the potential power of the car. And on the other side, there are many persons that need the car sometimes. And they either don't want to buy, or they cannot afford to buy a car. So in this way, they can have access to the cars they need for limited period and with a decent price. This platform put together two persons that would never been together otherwise, and solve the needs of these two groups. And is creating, so by solving this need, is creating a relation based on trust. When within a local community, we create relation based on trust. We give enormous value to local communities, to streets, to neighborhood, and to cities. So what happened here is, by solving a very individual problem, we actually give value to a neighborhood. We create a service, we crowdsource a service that is that was not there before. So it's create a sort of car sharing organization, but is crowdsourced and is potentially active everywhere there is a car parked. Even outside here could actually work. So by creating this value and strengthen the relation, we improve the quality of life of our communities. We put together person and in connection person that usually we meet and we see the supermarket, local supermarket, or there are a person that are having their kids in the same school. So by creating this, strengthening this relation, we add a lot of value and based on collaboration within our communities in our cities. By doing this is also in the longer period, it's solving one of the main things related to the private mobility in cars, and is the environmental aspect. The buy is recognized by having in a street one car that is shared, we can actually remove 10 to 15 cars from the streets. Because 10 to 15 persons can actually access the car and use it as if it was their own car. So it will grow up like a feeling of owning a car within the neighborhood. And by having less cars on the street, it's not just that we actually release the power also of public spaces that today are used to store cars. So more people using less car and better car in the long period. Because all the industry is moving today to produce car with the better technology, less pollutants, material that are recyclable, and more efficient engines. We have cars that are electric cars. And we have big investment in having self-driving cars like the one from Google. This is the ultimate car on demand, and this will come in the future. So another aspect is to do this. These services are based on community. And the community is the one that makes the big difference here. It's the people that change behavior. And a few years ago, it was impossible to convince a person to share the car with stranger people. But today is reality. We've seen that by adding a lot of value in this transaction, we are able to change the behavior of the people around us without imposition, in a natural way, it's sort of a natural evolution of the behavior towards mobility. So, you might say, okay, but this is something very new for young generation and so on. Well, this is. Of course, we have seen the people that started. It was pretty active, a young, early user, and so on. But today we can say that everyone is using it. It's covering all the age groups, all the social groups. And it's natural for most of the people to use this kind of platform. My son, Sebastian, is 3 years old. For him, it's natural, obvious that sometimes we walk out and we go and pick up the car from a stranger. And he's excited because there is a new seat every time. And sometimes it's a racing seat, sometimes it's a red or pink. It doesn't like too much. But at the same time, there is also older generation. My parents visiting me from Italy. And it's cool for them to see, okay, I go out and I come back with a minivan and so on. So this is something that already exists, already add values to our city, already add values to our pockets. And we see that is creating some values also for the environment. So what I'm trying to say is I like to involve all of you in spreading the word about this this system, these new tools that we have of car sharing and peer-to-peer car sharing, and help in creating a better and a smarter and a more sustainable mobility, more closer to the idea of freedom that I was talking before. Thank you.